Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Annette Magnus joins us. She's the founder of AM Solutions, and she's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Annette Magnus of AM Solutions. Pleasure to have you back on the program.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
And Happy New Year to you. And we start off the new year with a legislative session. What are your thoughts about February that is up and coming here?
Yeah, there's a lot. So obviously the governor's state of the state was this week. And, I think we've learned a lot from his agenda over the last session and now going into this session. And I think you're going to see a lot of the same. I think you're going to see a very similar session to the 2023 session, where there's a lot of policy items that move forward, but maybe get vetoed by the governor. Where you see a lot of conversation about education and accountability around education specifically, especially down here in Clark County with the Clark County School District. Things have not really gotten better. In fact, they've gotten worse since last session. And I think that's an understatement. We're gonna see a lot of talk about vouchers, so privatization of the education system. And I think you see a lot around economic development, especially with the film tax credit. It'll be a very similar conversation to the stadium last session, minus the fact that I actually think this is a much better deal. And I think that this has the opportunity to bring really great jobs to the state of Nevada, good union jobs to the state of Nevada, and will also provide educational opportunities. And so, again, I think the themes are going to be very similar to 2023. But you also have competitive races that are going to start in 2026 with the governor's race, with the attorney general's race. And so a lot of that's going to be factored into this session as well.
Yeah, let's start there. Aaron Ford already announcing for governor. I have a funny feeling that there are going to be other people jumping into that for a primary as well. Do you?
Yeah, I've been hearing some rumors. I think Attorney General Ford has done an excellent job as Attorney General. Obviously, I worked with him a lot when he was in the state Senate. I've known him a very long time, and we've done a lot of work together. And so I think his record is a good one. And I think now the important thing is going to be for him to go out and talk to voters about that record. I think there's going to be a lot of work to be done from the 2024 electoral cycle. I think you saw Democrats struggle in the state a bit. And so there's a lot of work to be done with voter registration, with field efforts to go out and talk to voters, educate voters about what's happening. And you have to deal with, the difference with automatic voter registration because there are so many nonpartisans now in Nevada. So it's going to look different than previous midterms. And we also don't have anybody at the top of the ticket. We don't have a competitive Senate race this time. So getting funding into Nevada, both on the Democratic and Republican side, is going to be a challenge. But we also know that the governor has amassed a huge war chest. He set a record in fundraising for this cycle. And so you are going to see a governor who is coming in very strong. And listen, if he has a good session, it might make it even harder to beat him.
Well, it's interesting. I was back in D.C. Last year talking to folks that run campaigns here in Nevada on the level of U.S. Senate and governor's races, et cetera. And I was talking about how Steve Sisolak had raised $15 million just himself. And they looked at me and said, Sam, in Nevada, $15 million isn't very much money anymore.
Yeah, I think that's really true. And I think the way we run campaigns in Nevada is totally different than even 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Having been a part of the machine on the left for a very long time, it takes a tremendous amount of money to run that machine, to run an organization who is, trying to make a difference on the left or the right. And so you are going to see people struggle to get money in here without that competitive Senate race at the top of the ticket. And I think it's incumbent upon national donors to really pay attention to Nevada. I think sometimes national donors just look at Nevada and like, oh, they're a blue state, or oh, they're a red state. And that fact couldn't be further from the truth. We are a purple state. We remain a purple state. We saw that in this election that just passed. You saw voters voting for Trump, and then you saw them voting for Senator Rosen. And so it's going to be really important for the infrastructures to make sure that they have the funding they need to push their candidates forward.
It was interesting to watch in this last session, last election, seeing how so much money poured into Nevada that the cost of buying, broadcast TV was through the roof. I mean, it had been through the roof before. Now it's gone through the third roof. And so you suddenly saw, beyond cable television, you saw digital television being a big player in this. And that's really opened the door to digital television advertising. I'm wondering, at what point do campaigns, after 20 plus years of not advertising in newspapers, suddenly realize that no, everybody hasn't made up their mind yet, and maybe we should spend some money in places where actually people who can read are reading?
Well, when I was at my former job, my former employer, it's a communications organization. And my approach to that, and some of my colleagues who worked with me, was an all of the above approach, because I believe you got to meet voters where they are. Now, a lot of voters also don't read any media anymore because they feel it's toxic. They feel that it's one-sided, whatever. And so you also have to meet them on social media. We see a tremendous amount of money being poured into social media campaigns and digital advertising. A huge, significant part of our budget was just for digital advertising. And now you factor in, like you said, the Hulus of the world and other platforms and streaming devices. That is going to be a significant spend, especially in a state like Nevada, where we're kind of a cheap date when it comes to media. And so national funders need to recognize that and see they need to start investing earlier here, and they need to start making sure that those digital buys and those ad buys, from newspapers all the way through digital, are done early so that they can actually get a spot.
Well, and that was really the key in two major Senate races in Nevada. One would be Jackie Rosen's campaign that really kicked off heavily in July. which, normally the date in the past had been September after Labor Day, but they were in actually even before July, but heavily starting in July. And then you look at Senator Reid's last race against Sharon Angle, where they defined that race within the 6 weeks it took Sharon Angle's campaign to get up and running. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think when you look at the CD2 race between Mark Amadei and Greg Kidd, the fact that Mark Amadei essentially campaigns every day, every year, period, just by going out and being amongst the public, that somebody coming in, even with a huge amount of money, can't take that down. People were still asking, where's the Democrat in this race? Because Kidd was running as an independent.
Yeah, I was looking at Congresswoman Titus's digital the other day, and I was trying to find a specific tweet that she had done on X, and I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and what came over me was, wow, this woman is everywhere. And I know that from when I worked for her, but it still remains true. Retail politics in Nevada works. Being out in the community, talking to voters, being there in person matters. Being in the rural communities matters. And so if AG Ford really wants to have a chance, and I think he knows this, he's going to have to get out there early, define himself, and really start talking to voters now to drive up his name recognition and make sure that he is doing what he needs to do to get ahead.
Yes, and of course, A.G. Ford is always welcome on this program. It's been a while since he's been here. We would love to have him back. He's always welcome. But I think that even Governor Lombardo has an issue of connecting with the average voter. I think as a governor, he's been doing just fine. In a gaming state, he's been a gaming governor. I know he wants to be the education governor, but I mean, I think for industry all across the board, he's taken that stance. And he's not crazy on the right. I mean, there are certain areas that I'm sure that he can be attacked on. But I still think for the average person, the name recognition may not be there as strongly as they might hope.
I completely agree. I think one of the things that Governor Lombardo really struggles with, and this is coming from a nonpartisan place, just seeing how people campaign in the state of Nevada. The governor's race last time was a totally different animal. We were just coming out of COVID. Things were still it was hard to talk to voters. Since then, we have progressed. We can get out there on the campaign trail. And he should have been doing more, I think, during the interim to be meeting with average people, with average voters, and educating them about his agenda and who he is. And frankly, I don't think he's done a very good job of that. And so I think he's going to have an uphill battle with the retail politics of this. I don't think that comes naturally to him as much as it does AG Ford. And I think he's going to really have to get out there on the trail if he wants to have any chance.
Let's talk about the youth vote, because it seems to me that we now have this huge dividing line between old-timers who still watch their local television news and Wheel and Jeopardy and other programs like that where they are seeing the political ads, and young people who haven't watched a local news broadcast in their life.
Well, I guess I fall somewhere in the middle of that, being 40 now, but I don't watch the local news. I do look at it online, though. I don't really read the local newspapers. I don't get them at my house. I read them online. So a lot of the stuff that I'm consuming is happening digitally. And that's kind of what I was talking about before, is meeting people where they are and having an all of the above approach. Sam, I know you probably consume media differently and you read the news differently. And so for voters like you, we are going to have to do a better job of, like I said, making sure traditional media is a part of every plan when it comes to running for office. But for someone like me, you're going to have to do more digital. I live my life online. I live my life on my phone. And younger people, even than me, are far more on social media. They're getting their news from Instagram, from Facebook, from TikTok for now. May change this week. So those are the things that we're also going to have to be more strategic about, is making sure that we're reaching those young folks and educating them with good information, not mis and disinformation, because obviously that is prevalent on those sites. We've seen Meta get rid of their fact checkers, which I think is a huge mistake in a climate like this. We need to make sure we have accurate information going to young people. And so I think it's incumbent upon all of us to do a better job when we're looking at how we're communicating with those young folk.
To say the least. Okay, let's take a break. More with Annette Magnus after this timeout.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Annette Magnus, who's the founder of AM Solutions. I remember a time where there was a story written about Bill Raggio that he was absolutely incensed by. And he told my colleague Ray Hager, before I got to the studio, that he absolutely didn't want to talk about this. And Ray mentioned it to me before the interview started, whispered it in my ear. And of course, the first question I asked him was about that particular topic. And he answered it and he was fine. So in the break that we just went through, you mentioned Steve Sisolak potentially running for governor and said, but I don't want to talk about that, but I got to ask you about it. What are your thoughts? Why is Steve Sisolak wanting to jump back into a race that, what's that all about? I don't understand.
Look, I think Governor Sisolak really feels like his time was cut short. And I think there are many of us that worked really hard, both on his electoral campaign, his first one, and his secondary one, where he was running for re-election, that, you know, he didn't lose by much, but he came back from a huge deficit over the summer. And by fall, we were able to get him to a place where he was competitive again. And it kind of breaks my heart that he didn't get a second term, because I really do think he could have been a great second term governor, where potentially we could have gotten a lot of good stuff done. I think one of my criticisms, and this has been my criticism for a long time, is, you know, you are never guaranteed a second re-election. You are never guaranteed a second term. And so if there is good policy that you want to move forward, you should work on that in your first term. And you should make those priorities that you promise voters, you should make sure they're done in the first term. Now, part of that was hamstrung because of his having to deal and respond to COVID. And I think a lot of COVID-related issues were blamed on Governor Sisolak because he was the face. He had to respond to it in real time. He was the one who had to make the call about shutting down the Strip. And so there were a lot of really hard, tough decisions that Governor Sisolak had to make. And I think that was pinned on him. And so the bottom line is, I think some of that is going to hold over if he tries to run again. I think people still remember the fact that he was governor during COVID and he had to make those tough decisions. And I just don't think that if he runs again, it's going to be good for the party. I think that it'll make a tough primary. I think we need to have a clean primary, a clean shot at the governor's race, so that whoever the candidate is can raise money and raise money now. And I think that, it could potentially dredge up some of the conversation around COVID again. And I don't think that's helpful for anybody.
More with Annette Magnus when we come back.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
The new year is bringing so much fun to Tamarack Casino with cash and free play drawings Thursdays and Saturdays and $40,000 in grand finale giveaways Thursday, February 27th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Annette Magnus, the founder of AM Solutions. You brought up the film studios wanting to come and invest a lot of money in Nevada. And my initial response to that on the program was that they should call Tyler Perry to come in from Georgia and explain how this works and how we can make money at it, because I don't think anybody has done it more successfully than Tyler Perry.
Well, I have to say, we have been looking at this for a very long time. I think Assemblywoman, then Senator Maggie Carlton had the first bill. We saw Attorney General Ford have another bill when he was in the state Senate. We had this long discussion thanks to Senator Roberta Lang last session, and now we're here again. And again, I think if we're going to use tax credits for things, I think we need to get good jobs. I think we need to be able to get the economy back on track with that. And so I really think the film tax credits are a good use of public dollars as a return in our investment. I've been a huge critic of the stadiums. I will continue to be. But I think for something like this, where it's actual economic development, and you see an investment in the community, you see the potential for it to grow to Northern Nevada, I think that's the kind of stuff that we need to be thinking about. Because again, not only does it help our economy, not only is it good union jobs, good paying jobs, but I think there's a real investment in education here as well. And I think for us, anytime we can have all of those things covered, that is the type of investment I want to see coming into Nevada.
One of the things that's fascinating to watch is that as we continue to bring more and more companies to Nevada, where are we going to find the workers? I mean, that's a major issue. I mean, you see the builders associations of one kind or another going out to the middle schools as well as the high schools to get kids to understand that they can get good paying jobs without having to go for university education. You've got the Teslas and the Panasonics working, and others working with the university system to help train people. But I mean, if we keep bringing in the jobs at the level we're bringing them in, there's going to be massive man camps in Lincoln County, I think, with bus service to wherever the construction is. What are your thoughts on that?
As a product of the Clark County School District and UNLV, I am proud that I chose to stay here in Nevada, work in Nevada, build a business in Nevada, and my husband did too. And so I think it can be done. I think there are many of us that are success stories in this state that have been proud Nevadans that have stayed here and built our careers here. But I do think we need to be investing in the trades. I think the skilled trades are, a part of that conversation that needs to happen. I think our schools, both K through 12 and higher ed, need to be doing a better job of pushing people into the trades, because we know four-year college is not for everybody. And then I also think you're right, bringing in some of these businesses like the film industry, where we can start to diversify our economy and bring new industries in, and hopefully one day not have to incentivize them to come. They'll just want to come because we've actually improved our education system enough. So again, the conversation goes back to education. We need to better invest in our education system. We need universal pre-K, which we've seen Senator Cannizzaro put out there. I think that's a great plan. And we need to do more for childcare. I think that's a huge issue in the state. And so there are many other smaller issues that all kind of feed into this bigger issue.
And that's where we have to leave it for now. See you in Carson City in a few weeks.
I'm excited. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, and we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
Snorkel personnel lifts are engineered beyond the industry norm to an uncommon level of safety and durability, and with an eye towards sustainability. They're also designed to be simple to operate and maintain. Snorkel, always at the cutting edge of progress.
A new year brings new ways to win big with the $150,000 flurry of cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thursday and Saturday prize drawings, including up to $5,000 in cash and up to $10,000 during the grand prize giveaways, only at the Carson Valley Inn.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you on the next broadcast.